Halo Infinite initially launched to what many would consider a successful player turnout. With the constant rollout of updates, hotfixes, and the creativity from players through Forge, Halo Infinite seemed primed for years of success. But players began falling off sharply, with a drop-off rate of 50% each month following its initial launch. Today, it's rare to find 1,000 concurrent players on Steam charts. Now, with no new Halo games on the immediate horizon and slow drip-fed Halo Infinite live service content, players are looking elsewhere for their Master Chief fix. Much of the migration has naturally flowed toward the Master Chief Collection, but there's one game conspicuously missing from it, namely Halo 5 Guardians. Despite being landlocked to Xbox, Halo 5 has seen a growing number of players filling its multiplayer lobbies, and for good reason. The fast pace of the movement and the intricate map design fulfills a unique niche in the series that's worth exploring. With 2025 marking Halo 5's 10-year anniversary, there's no better time to take a look back on Halo Infinite's predecessor. The only way to access Halo 5 is through the Xbox ecosystem. The new ROG Xbox handheld is a good candidate to access this game, but for the most, an old Xbox One or even Series X and S will do the job. There's been no word on an official PC release, and Halo 5 remains the only one missing from the Master Chief Collection, besides Infinite of course, putting Halo 5 in an inaccessible position today. Still, multiplayer lobbies continue to be populated. It's still relatively easy to find matches in Slayer, Deathmatch, and Capture the Flag modes. And then there's the game's 24-player Warzone mode, which can take longer to find matches in, especially outside of the peak hours. Expanded search is a good way to find custom lobbies already in progress. In general, the Halo 5 multiplayer community is surprisingly active despite being landlocked to the Xbox ecosystem. Now, Halo 5 may be 10 years old, but it still looks like a new game. Since the scope is more zoomed in and focused than Infinite, graphical fidelity was still high, and frame rates managed to be smooth. It looks especially impressive with Xbox Series X's backwards compatibility. Now, until it gets an official PC release, the Series X remains the best way to play Halo 5 today. Multiplayer has continued to be the lifeblood of Halo 5. Many fans consider Halo 5 as the pinnacle of Halo multiplayer in general, but especially of the 343 era. So what does it do so well though? First, there's the mobility. Halo 5 added infinite sprinting and a slide to its movement. While Halo Infinite has sprint, yes, Halo 5 sprint is notably quicker than an Infinite. That extra dash of mobility, combined with the gravity-defying jumping ability of Spartans, makes for some incredibly fun and fast-paced matches. Halo 5 also emphasized aiming down the sights for its weapons to an unprecedented degree in the franchise. Just about every single gun in the game has sights the player can aim down, making precision shots more feasible than ever before in the series. The ubiquity of sight aiming along with the sprint led to an overriding sensation that Halo 5 was becoming homogenized, but rather than drag it down, this level of dynamism helped Halo 5 gain a reputation for being the most competitive entry. The quick movement and precise weapons feel that they lend itself sort of well to top-level tournament play, as an example. One can imagine how big the Halo 5 esports scene could get with a remastered PC release. But it's not just more competitive. Halo 5 also retains the sense of fun that defined the classic games. Player collisions add a mix of comedic relief and physical realism, keeping matches unpredictable and often delightfully chaotic. The thruster pack provides bursts of speed and verticality, which lets players leap across distances with reckless abandon. And then there's the special airtime ability when aiming down the sights, which grants splash AoE damage. Forge mode, meanwhile, carries over much of what made Halo 3 and 4's Forge so fun. Players have a robust set of tools to build, script, and decorate maps, and create modes from scratch. Sure, Infinite's Forge iterates with new additions and features, but Halo 5 has a wealth of creations in its library through the 10 years it's been active, giving it some seniority over Infinite with regards to its content pool. Now, speaking of maps, the multiplayer map design is much more compact and intricate than Infinite's sprawling zones. There's more nooks and crannies to hide in and a significantly increased pace thanks to the faster movement speed we mentioned. The Plaza map's vertical design, for example, highlights the game's mobility remarkably well here, and objective-based maps like Truth or Coliseum represent some of the most balanced map design in the series' long history. The weapons also pack quite a punch. A punchy sound effect unique to Halo 5 accompanies all headshots, distinguishing them from the normal hits. The Promethean weapon designs were totally distinct and different from anything else in the series too. Again, accompanied by punchy distinct sound effects and some cool animation quirks to round it out. It's often argued that Halo 5 has some of the best weapons, and honestly it's not hard to see why. It's just a tad unfortunate that the game's large-scale mode isn't as active as it once was. The 12v12 Warzone mode was a trendsetter at the time, blending traditional PvP play with AI enemies and boss fights to take down as a team. Warzone was something of a proto-Halo Infinite with its large map design. It also introduced a controversial loot pack system injected with microtransactions, something that would unfortunately carry over into Halo Infinite as well. Still, the cooperative mayhem with the PvP/PvE layout was unique and provided many unpredictable matches, with plenty of players claiming it's their favorite mode actually. Warzone servers are still up and active, though notably less so than the compact deathmatch modes today, so keep that in mind. The campaign in Halo 5 Guardians is often regarded as lackluster, and for the most, it's the weakest in the series' rich history. From both a gameplay and story perspective, Halo 5's single-player offering suffered from a number of substantial issues, making it difficult to come back to and honestly recommend today. Gameplay-wise, the campaign leans on frustrating design choices that make combat repetitive and unbalanced. The overuse of homing enemy weapons from Promethean units' forces went into a sort of constant loop of retreating to cover rather than improvising with other great tactics. Turning Halo into a cover-based shooter just really wasn't the way to go. Encounters quickly became predictable, undermining Halo's classic fast-paced get-up-and-go rhythm. It's especially egregious considering the enhanced mobility injected into this entry. And then there's the squad system, which was meant to add teamwork and tactical depth, but often just does the exact opposite. Unlike other Halo games, you issue commands to your team of Spartans and must rely on your mates for success. A team-based campaign is awesome, at least in theory, but the AI here is just too unreliable and even awful in some cases. AI Spartans will often just ignore your pleas for help even when they're just a few feet away. The campaign's difficulty balance assumes that these revives happen regularly, which makes the experience frustratingly uneven, to say the least. Not only do you not feel like a one-man army here, you don't even feel like much of a functional team, because the aforementioned AI fails you so often. There's also the spongy boss health, which pad out the experience, making it more monotonous and irritating than it should be. Seriously, if I have to fight another Warden Eternal, I'll consider just playing Infinite instead, which is saying something. Those enemies don't just have padded health, their attacks are repetitive and uninteresting to boot. And don't even get me started on the higher difficulties, they're crazy. Now, narratively speaking, it really isn't much better. Playing a story version of Red vs. Blue can be intriguing for some players, sure, and could have been amazing, yes, but it just kind of fell flat for most of us. Playing as Locke is cool at times. He's a Spartan with some depth and a likable personality, but the other no-name Spartans hog a lot of the screen time, honestly. And the worst thing is that Master Chief gets a mere 3 missions total in the campaign, and that's it. The insistence on focusing on a bunch of no-name Spartans at the expense of the Chief is both puzzling and sorta lame, especially since many of them are about as interesting as my actual Forge creations. There's also a bit of external homework required to understand details of the story, which is obviously unfortunate. A mainline game shouldn't require external narrative research to comprehend, especially with an iconic story-focused series such as Halo. And finally, there's the nail in the narrative coffin, the story twist with Cortana, which understandably confounded and angered players. Now, if you're going to pull a cheeky narrative subversion for the shock effect, at least make it somewhat consistent with the character. Between Halo Infinite's declining player base and 343 Industries' silence regarding a confirmed new entry, the future of the series is uncertain. But remastering Halo 5 and putting it on PC would be a step in the right direction. If the team wrinkles out some of the microtransition junk and polishes optimization for PC support, it would hopefully rekindle some of that old school Halo flame that seems to be dimming in recent years. So, what are your thoughts on this? Go ahead and share them in the comments below. And if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel and enable all notifications by clicking the bell icon to get new video updates. We upload every day and would really appreciate your support. Thanks for watching.